why didn't I just make this into one top 10 video instead of two top 5 videos? Well, think about it. The best things come in 5. I mean, the top best Robins. We're talking Justice League animated series season. We're talking bands like Red Velvet. And we're talking about the 5 stages of grief that I'm experiencing, that there is no upcoming Batfamily comics, movies, or series in the woodworks right now that include all the members. The best things do come in 5s. And just like those amazing groups of 5, there is another group of 5 I feel necessary to talk about. Another best Bat family duos that I feel like don't get the spotlight enough. They are still very up there, very, very high up there, and I think that they will kind of scratch an itch that some people have been mentioning when I looked online and when I looked at the comments and everything. So in an order that's somewhat strict but not completely strict, here are my best top 5 Bat family duos. Just read the title. Just read the title. I don't remember what exactly it's called. And if you have time, read the description. There should be something fun for you to do down there. Like the previous video, this key is based off of an experiment by Johns in 1975. Because I couldn't find something contemporary. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. He basically just found that 500 4th to 6th graders significantly preferred characters in positive group interactions. So that means that they preferred characters who interacted within a positive environment in a group setting. So I'm taking that, I'm using that as my key to help me. So basically, what I'm going to be judging these on and how I'm putting them into some kind of loose order, these bat duos, not romantic or anything but platonic, is by focusing on how many fan fictions I want to read of their positive relationship or positive outcomes of their relationship. So I'm very inclined to prefer relationships which are worked for and that a lot of work gets put into it, which is a bias of mine. So bear that in mind when you watch this video, because this is some extra duos. I hope I get your fave, but if I don't, I've got this little bat chibi cute plushie that I had. He's gonna protect me. Yeah. Now, without further ado, number 5. What color do you want your nails? It is Steph and Cass. Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain. I love these girls to bits. I do. I'm a big fan. They're cute and they are new to me. I think I mostly learned about both of them from the Wayne Family Adventures. Yeah, I didn't come across them outside of that. But they have such a special place in my heart, and that's so great. No childhood nostalgia, and I still love them. Like that's impressive. Okay, that is impressive. And I love reading about panels of them. I love reading about them in other fics, in their own fics. I love the idea of them and just the whole concept of girls being girls, and it's not because they aren't strong. They don't have strength. I mean, Cassandra is literally the strongest or the best martial artist probably in the Bat family, if not balanced with Bruce. And then it's like Jason and Dick, and it's like she is up there. The girl who was isolated and could barely speak any language apart from body language, and who was living across the world from her, couldn't even communicate or understand what a normal relationship was. And yet she is just free to be a girl at the same time when she's with Steph. Like, you can see how much she embraces just girlhood or just being a woman and being more feminine. So it's like this beautiful balance of, we don't need her to be this bulky girl. She's a ballerina. And then Steph is this really cool trendy girl who's like reintroducing this girl who's been separated from society into society, and what Steph sees as society and what she sees as fun. Having those two collide is just kind of like, yeah, that's something interesting. Do you know what I mean? That's an interesting and very wholesome story. And even without the pressure of being sisters, it's like this weird middle ground of friendship and sisterhood, and it's just very interesting pairing and very interesting relationship that doesn't get enough credit. I feel like people are just like, oh, it's cute, yeah, they're so cute, but it's deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that, and I love it. And honestly, I just really like, if you know a fic, let me know, because I really want to read a fic where it's just Steph is gossiping, Cass is listening, and Bruce is there, and like slowly but surely Bruce just starts to know the gossip that Stephanie tells him. I don't know. I'll write it if I have to, but like, okay, number 4. So number 4 is called The Help. I'm still workshopping the name. Don't know if it applies, but I'm trying. It's Alfred and Jason. Everybody knows Alfred's favorite is Jason, and if it's not Jason, it's Dick, but a lot of the time it's just Jason. There's loads of fan art of it, there's loads of fanfic of it, just like one shots. Like honestly, I didn't even like it much, but then I was reading some like series and stuff on AO3, and then it would have one shots with Jason and Alfred, and I was like, I want to skip it, but it's a chronological order of a story, and so I was like, okay, well I guess I'm gonna start at 1, which is that, and I just loved it. I don't know what it was. I just loved it. It's just very sweet and wholesome. Like the whole idea of if Jason was anywhere, he would never let somebody just take care of him without actually helping. And it's not a bad thing to let people do that for him. In fact, he should let people help him more than he does, but he just doesn't. And so it's very obvious that as a child, he would definitely want to be around Alfred and stuff. They would just drink tea. They would hang out. They would cook together. They would knit together, dust together. They would talk about literature. Like I think Jason was the most read out of the family. Even the guns thing, I think that definitely Alfred would have helped him learn about guns as well as Bruce, even reluctantly teach him about certain guns and before he learned how to shoot later on after the pit, and just loads of just things that him and Alfred have to talk about and have in common that it's just, you wouldn't expect it, but then you think about it and you're like, oh my god, yeah. Like even gardening and stuff like that, I feel like that'd be super cool. It's just very sweet and wholesome in a way that it's like a connection of generations. I guess that's what's very compelling about it as well. And also just that Jason has a very strong tendency to be very tsundere, and he's very like straightforward, and he has this front on, but with Alfred he doesn't. That's my idea of their relationship, and I think that makes it so that he can be honest with him, and he just is willing to be vulnerable with Alfred, I feel like, and I love that. Yeah, it's just super unique, super secret, super cool. But I mean, to be fair, at the end of the day, they are just doing the dishes, they are just talking about literature, they are just drinking tea. So I do feel like there are three relationships that are a bit more fulfilling, a bit more interesting. So number 3 is, oof, you scared me. And I don't know if you can guess. You don't know if you can guess. Yeah, it's Jim and Bruce. I don't have Jim, sorry. But I do have Bruce. Yeah, it's Jim and Bruce. I don't even know what kind of place it holds in your heart, because for me it didn't hold any kind of place in my heart until I think I was reading this fic. It's always fic, so I can't lie to you, but I was reading this fic and I was like, whoa, they have a deep relationship that I'm not thinking about. Especially just the fact that they've been partners from the jump really means a lot to me. And so I don't want to read the same length of fanfic. Like I don't need to read 100k to understand the relationship. I want some snapshots, and I want a lot of snapshots, because I really want to highlight Jim in this video because of how important and how underrated I really think their relationship is. Like, think about it. Jim helped train Bruce in detective skills. Bruce already had training, but Jim knew the grounds. He knew what was going on in this system, but better than even Bruce did, because he's not living that, right? And so Jim in I think in The Long Halloween actually had this kind of, in the movies I watched, I didn't read the comics, I'm sorry if it's a bit inaccurate, but in the movies I watched, The Long Halloween Part 1, Part 2, Jim really explained and had this kind of role of like a mentor in a sense, and he was a unique friend, especially after the first initial 3 years or something. They just have this very special bond that was very iconic, very meaningful, and it developed Batman into what he is today. It made it so that Batman had the whole, the bat signal. The bat signal wouldn't exist without the collaboration. How are you going to get into prisons so easily? I mean, obviously prisons are not the hardest facilities to get into or out of, according to the amount of breakouts that we've had, but the things like them just being able to walk into a jail, like, them being able to just work with the police, these are such a pivotal things in Batman's character. Any comics or any stories where Bruce's or Batman's reputation is ruined, you just see the difference with the police, like them investigating him and them turning against him, how big of an impact that has. Imagine every time they broke up a fight or something, I saved you, ma'am, thank you, alright, have a nice night. So all these plot points and all these kind of stories about who Batman is and what Batman is doing, and any detective stories, anything, even though along those lines, I really need, and I love seeing Jim in there and seeing their relationship and how it develops. It's definitely more of a Batman and Jim relationship rather than a Bruce and Jim relationship. So number 2, very similar to the previous one. It's called Don't Do That, Boss. I'm pretty sure you can probably guess. Can you guess? It's Barbara and Bruce, or rather Batgirl and Batman, or rather Oracle and Batman. I love Barbara as Batgirl because Barbara is amazing, and I loved her in the Batman anime series. She's I knew her from the beginning. Okay, I saw her early days. The Killing Joke changed her, obviously, but I didn't think that would change how I saw her relationship with Bruce or Batman, because as Batgirl, she and Batman were great. The thing is, I feel like Batman and Robin were just, the dynamic duo. They were amazing together. They just had a snappy snap. But then something snapped into place when I saw her working as Oracle with Batman. I don't know what it is. Maybe because she calls him boss, non-sexually. It's something about it. Just, it's a flavor I'm digging, because we needed an Oracle. First of all, we needed that role to be played, and she played it. She fit right in, did exactly what she needed to do. She was the researcher, she was the comms girl, listen, the world was expanding, the Bat family was expanding. We needed someone to take the reins. While Bruce spearheads it from the front, she's holding it together from the back. We needed that. Her and Bruce is like this CEO with his PA. Do you know what I mean? Like this cool partnership, but like it's not like this relationship where he's mentoring her anymore, because he's not mentoring her. It's this mutual respect. She knows what he means. She knows him. She's an adult. She's long been an adult, and now she's playing this role where she's support, and she will always support. She is always reliable. She's more reliable than her wheelchair, her $2, $5, $10,000 wheelchair. Like I was playing the Arkham game, and he was like Oracle, and I was like, oh my god, Barbara's in this. You see how actually close Batman and Oracle, just like Barbara and Bruce, have become. Like, he doesn't have to be a dad with her. He doesn't have to do that with her. She is confident in herself. She will call him out if need be, and he will respect her for that. He will respect her probably even more than his own children. Like he probably won't listen to them as easily as he will listen to Barbara's advice. Same with Alfred, even though Alfred is kind of like commanding. It's like they really do have a level of mutual respect that is similar that Batman and Jim have, but on comms there's just something about it that it compels me. And every time they leave that, or they go even deeper, or like maybe he gets her a birthday gift or something, it feels so meaningful. They hug, like it's so earned. I'm just utterly intrigued by this relationship and any positive outcomes, which is it's quite a strict definition reason why I've rated it higher than the rest. It's super interesting, and I really wish they would do more. Honestly, just Batman Oracle, dude, I'm exciting myself, dude. Batman and Oracle, are you crazy? I would read the F out of that. Oh, that would be so fun. I don't know what it is. I literally don't know. I just feel like she's such a sick person on the mic. And yeah, so I do love it. I do love it. I do love it. Yeah. Just before we get to number one, there are two that I dubbed the drifting duos, which I feel like is very, very necessary to mention, because I actually didn't know where to put these two duos in this list. And since it's a top 5 list, I kind of wanted to keep this clean and cut. So yeah, and also I kind of forgot that they existed. I kind of forgot. Okay, so basically I wanted to mention for one, Bruce and Stephanie. I've read quite a few one-shots with them, and I really love their relationship. I want their relationship to heal. I think there's so much more that can be done with the relationship that I really want. And then there is Damian and Bruce, same kind of deal, same kind of issues. Essentially, both of these characters want to find their way in the family, and I really think that they find their way best with Bruce, and that the most intense and important relationship that they need to resolve and sort through is with Bruce. Once again, I should mention that these aren't second place. They're above second place, but they're below first, and I don't know how to do that. I guess this should have been a top 7 list. I don't know. Maybe secretly you could argue it actually is a top 7 list. Anyway, without further ado, number 1 is go to your room or Alfred will make you. Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? I mean, can you guess? Who would say that? Why would it? Alfred and Bruce. It's Alfred and Bruce. I'm not changing the name. I like the name. This time I'm keeping the name, okay? This is a pivotal duo. This is an important duo. But what makes it special, what makes it top this list is how it works across all ages. Like in the previous video, I mentioned the best duos work across all ages. Even if you don't even know about Robins and all the sidekicks and all the partners and everything else, you know about Bruce and Alfred and how their relationship is tight. There are so many reasons to explain why the relationship is tight, why the relationship is important, why the relationship is compelling, why the relationship is interesting, why the relationship is iconic, the most iconic of this group and the most important of this group. Let's start from the beginning, okay? The moment his parents were murdered, Alfred brought Bruce up when nobody else would, when nobody else even could. He was the guardian for Bruce in his childhood, in his teenagehood. It is a compelling story, especially he's not even from this damn country, okay? He's from where I am from, okay? I would not be in the land of the guns for nothing, dude. It had to be special. And the Wayne family, it changes between the different iterations why he's with the Wayne family. The idea is just that he was with them. He was promised that he was going to look after Bruce if anything happened. He did look after Bruce because something did happen. And he keeps his duties. He stays with the family, and he brought Bruce up with all these mannerisms. He shaped Bruce's personality. The British gentlemanly distance, you know, the emotional detachment that Alfred has, he passed on to Bruce. Bruce as a child is shown to be very positive in almost any iteration you see. He's very happy, very smiley, and very positive. But then you get to the deaths, you get to Alfred raising him, and he completely changed to this very rigid, emotionally distant person who is just empty. But Alfred doesn't just get him to push away from his emotions. He tries to be the person for him, and obviously he is distant, and I think it's very valid to say that he has somewhat neglected Bruce, and emotionally at the very least, but he still tries, and he still tried to bring him up as best as he could. He still tried to put him in therapy in some iterations or some fanons, but it can never fully work out, and that's changed everything. It made Bruce into the person who wanted to go out into the world and train to be Batman. Him looking after the Wayne Manor is pivotal. I mean, imagine what happened if he abandoned the manor. Something could have happened to the manor. What would have happened then if Bruce came home and it was empty? You know, Alfred full on commitment to Bruce in those years. I can't even imagine the phone calls. We don't really get that. I hate that we don't really see that relationship between what happened when he was abroad. Were they just not talking? Surely they must have been talking occasionally. What were those calls like? What were they even saying to each other? And then we get him coming back, and then Alfred reluctantly hating every moment of it, helping Bruce become Batman. It's an amazing feat, and it's an amazing idea that you have this butler for this man-child who is fighting crime for the best reasons. So no matter what you think of him, and no matter how emotionally detached he is still trying his best to be a good person. And Alfred is there to see that he stays alive, and that Alfred is the first person on comms. Alfred was the first Oracle. He was before anyone came, because he was there on the phone. Again, another part of their relationship that we don't see the most of. I mean, sometimes we do see them though. I have seen them in some comic panels in some comics, and I think they do it with Batman the Animated Series as well. But I really want to see more of that, you know? And then we see Alfred helping Bruce raise his kids. He is just a constant, and I just love the end game of Alfred being the punishment. Like, they're kind of like this mom and dad thing, even though Alfred is more like Bruce's dad than anything. But it's just this really fun family dynamic that starts with them. Alfred literally just says, in essence, I'm ride or die for Bruce. Like, that is what he is, and that is just even more than Barbara, the stability, that the support that helps the family, that pulls everything together. He is loyal to a T, especially to Bruce though. And I actually really love that, because I feel like Bruce is hard to love sometimes. I think that even when he is like that, I like that Alfred is always there in his corner. No matter what he does, he has somebody who unequivocally loves him and sacrifice even his relationship with his own daughter, Julia Pennyworth, like for Bruce. And it's like, it's a display of loyalty without it being tacky. It feels like a guardian angel, and Bruce needs that. It's just good for everyone, and it's good for the family, it's good for the kids, it's good for the adults, it's good for the teens. They have this kind of line like, you might want to mess with me, but you don't want to mess with the other guy. And it's just like Alfred with a cup of tea and custard creams just like in the corner. It's just such a fundamental iconic duo. I just feel like I had to put it at the very top. And that's some more of my fave Bat duos. This order is shaky. I wasn't 100% sure where to put something, but I was just kind of thinking, how willing was I to read something right now on the topic, like immediately as we finished. I feel like I couldn't have rated anything else as number one, but if you have a suggestion, then feel free to let me know. It's very subjective. And yeah, I mean, then I say quirky goodbye. Janyong.